I've gotten quite a few comments from people recently asking me where Creepy Santa's been for the last few episodes. He's always around, he doesn't really go anywhere. Well, actually, he does go places, and that's the problem. I just keep finding him in spots that are a bit too hard to reach. He's been up here for the last 4 days, and I haven't been able to get him down yet. Ernie Gearson is a Cars character that's been on a lot of fans' minds recently, thanks to the re-release of his Cars 1 variant. Cars 1 Ernie was last seen in 2014, and he was one of the only Piston Cup racers that we needed to get to have all the Piston Cup racers be re-released after the release of Cars 3. And while it is super exciting to get the original Ernie back, I gotta say, Ernie's one of the cars where I think the Cars 3 variant is a major improvement over the original. Cars 3 Ernie has a much more interesting design in my opinion, and while I am super excited to get the original Ernie in my collection, I gotta say I think this one is a pretty underrated Cars 3 veteran design. Hello everybody, and welcome back to 25 Days of Suggestions 2024. We're almost at the end here. It is day 22 for 2024, which is absolutely insane. And today we're going to be taking a look at Cars 3 Ernie Gearson, a suggestion from Dino Collects. Thank you so much for the suggestion, as always. And before we take a look at Ernie here, we of course have to open up today in the advent calendar, which is going to be one of our last days. I got a feeling it's probably this accessory, because it's really the only like generic accessory we have left, right? Wow, I was completely right. Good for me. Yeah, I mean, at this point, it's pretty easy to predict what's going to come in those last few days, especially because it's pretty obvious that the last 2 days are going to be the same as the last two things we got last year. So here's today's accessory. It's just a row of 3 barrels, exact same as the row of 2 barrels we got earlier in the calendar, but this time, there are 3 of them. Wow, cool! Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's, of course, take a closer look at Ernie here. I always really like this Cars 3 Spearmint logo. It's really clever with how it takes the O from the original design and reinvents it into this really detailed tire with these mint leaves popping out of it. Something that I do like, but also don't like, is the fact that there's a second tire down here. It is pretty nice to see that design repeated, and this one is a bit different than the one up there. But also, for a very long time, Cars fans called this sponsor Spare O-Mint, and this design choice with these 2 tires basically destroys that concept. Now, at the very least, this and Nick Schiff, the Cars 3 Spearmint Next Gen, confirmed that the name of the sponsor is Spearmint, not Spare O-Mint, but still, it's pretty funny to see what could basically be read as Spare O-Mint, if you're in the Spare O-Mint school of thought, of course. We've got a really nice color scheme on Ernie here. He is a pretty unique item. He reuses the Cal Weathers mold, like all of the returning Cars 3 Piston Cup racers do, all the ones that returned from Cars 1, and then also Cal, of course. But he actually has a unique mold. I believe he's the only car that Cal Weathers modeled with this unique frowning expression, which gives him a pretty distinct facial expression. Got the 93 down there, way under the headlight. That is really far down. I wonder if that's a misprint. That's just so far away. And on either side of him here, we have the little leaf designs, which are actually different on either side, which is pretty nice to see. We also have all of these sparkly, clean little sparkle shapes. They almost look like snowflakes, honestly, just showing you how Spearmint is, minty fresh, however you want to phrase that. I really love the fading design with the light blue and the dark blue. Absolutely love the shade of blue. Really nice looking color scheme on this item. I also really like the sort of mint color they use for the wheels there. Lightyear logo, of course, as you'd expect. The wheels even have a little additional rim of color, another one around that sort of mint color. Piston Cup, Vitaline, Revolting, RPM, Nitroate, Octane Gain, and Collegiate sponsors, as you'd expect. The little arrow there for where the pity should lift him up. Number 93 with the nice mint leaf behind that. Very similar design up top. Sparrow Mint logo here, and even more leaves flaking off all over the place. Really love how the back here looks, where the sort of sparkle design pretty much takes over and becomes an entire background element. Cars 3 designs really love to do this for some reason, where they just have a little subtle design in the background. You see it on a lot of Cars 3 characters, especially next gens. I'm thinking someone like Aaron Clocker, who has all of the plus and minus logos on them. Very similar concept with Ernie here. But I really do love the back of the item, not only because of that detail, but also because of how it takes advantage of the leaves. And it looks like the wrap on mine is just completely ripped off here. What happened? Ernie, what happened there? That's so random. It's not like a usual chip. It's like the wrap is completely on. I've never seen that happen to a car I owned before. I wonder if mine came that way. I'll have to double check my original review when I got him back in 2017. I doubt it, but it's so weird. Back here we have a variation of the Spearmint logo, which only has one tire, making it a bit more similar to that classic Spearmint design. There is a look at the other side, which I believe is, it's pretty much the same other than that part right there. And finally, there is a look at the base. So there you have it, guys. The Cars 3 variant of Ernie Gearson, one of my personal favorite Cars 3 veteran racers. I think he's one of the most underrated ones, and I hope that whenever they inevitably bring back the Cars 3 veterans, he's one of the ones they go with first, because I believe we only ever saw him back in 2017. Thank you all so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye now.